This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org here at Porcfest 2017. And as we know, Porcfest is a very strange meeting of libertarian, anarchists, hippies, all calling for a free state and society. And in this video, we're going to be talking about some out-of-this-world stuff, literally and figuratively. We're going to be talking about spaceships, advancement in technology, and a lot of the stuff that I haven't heard anywhere else. But Ernie Hancock here of Freedom Phoenix Radio has been just chewing my ear off for months now, and the stuff he's telling me is just fascinating. And what Ernie has been doing is mainly trying to work around the concept of decentralization, getting away from a main central government force ruling your life and being in charge of your own life. Is that a fair assessment? And can you lead us through what you're actually doing?
All of our activism has always been kind of scattered. We make our own geodesic domes. We have the domes we call the aqua dome. We do aquaponics. We have chickens. We advocate for encrypted communication. Everything's decentralized. And what happened was, as time goes on, it seems to me that that's kind of starting to get lost. They're starting to get more and more succumbing to all of the features and benefits of being on the grid. Well, the thing is, I'm going, man, there's got to be a way that we can promote the decentralization of everything. So we took some main categories. On freedomsphoenix.com, we have like 200 categories. Well, we narrowed it down to like 8 or 9 categories on pirateswithoutborders.com. Pirateswithoutborders.com is a site where we're emphasizing the decentralization in communication, shelter, healthcare, food, water, automation, transportation, education. I mean, a lot of things that we don't have to get a permission slip. The mindset is they're looking in the blue pages of the white pages for the permission slip they need from the man. And I'm going, no, that's a wrong attitude. So what we're doing is we're building the ship. Instead of saying, things go by, you go, oh, who is John Galt? I'm like, build the ship. So we have a lot of opportunities for us to be able to demonstrate how we can be decentralized and put it into a ship that is a lot larger than I think people realize. You look at the ship, the face of that's like 40 stories high. On the platform, you can put dozens of sea containers down there. So this is a ship that you live on. It's Serenity. It's Firefly. You're doing commerce, boldly shipping where the man has never shipped before kind of thing. So we have a lot of artwork. Davi Barker from Bitcoin Not Bombs has been doing a lot of the art that we have. And, my thing, like this one, I love this one. Oh, there it goes. We're not off the grid. We're above the grid.
Now, Ernie, these concepts are going to go over people's head a lot of the times. I know you're talking about decentralizing yourself and being off the grid and having all these other side projects. And you're talking about combining all of them into one ship that traverses everywhere. Is that correct? And can you tell us, like, how is this possible? How does it work? And you also told me that one of the founders of Google is already working on one of these ships. Give us the info.
This is what happened. In last fall, it was, it kind of goes back to Luke. Last summer, when you were covering Bilderberger, they had this concept, they had on the agenda, they said, hey man, we got to deal with this precariat, this populism, this Brexit, Trump thing. So I'm going, precariat, what the hell is that? Well, come to find out, there was a book written by an economist in the United Kingdom named Guy Standing, I think. And he was describing the people that live a precarious existence. You have these young people with the enormous student debt. They're not able to get out from under, and they want everything. They had to commercialize, they got the next iPhone, everything they got to have with no means to get it. So this is where this universal basic income stuff was coming from. So we just had Hawaii the last couple of days. Oh yeah, we're going to do a universal basic income. San Francisco's talking about different things. Different, countries in Europe are already starting it. Why? Because of automation. There's not going to be any jobs, Well, the solution to that is just freedom, to decentralize your life and you can do what you want. The thing is that if we could have the tech emphasized of what is already possible on Freedom's Phoenix, for years I have a category called Top Tech News. Now, there's like, I give you an example. The windshield of the ship is transparent. And they'll go, well, you're out in space and you're going to have a windshield? What up with that? And I'm going, they have new materials now that have the hardness of diamonds that are transparent. I got a diamond windshield. I don't know what you guys got on your spaceship. So building the ship is not so much the primary goal initially. It's going to be 4 or 5 years of just taking all the new materials and carbon nanotubes and graphene and fiber and new building materials and fiber optic communications and encrypted, you know, on and on and on, that we build the ship as a forum on pirateswithoutborders.com, where a lot of the brilliant minds that we have here, we start putting together the ideas of how we can actually live this life. Because the problem that we've had, no matter where you go, they got you in a place. Oh, you got an address. We got your front door GPS, man. We know where's your property taxes. And I'm going, well, what happens if we just, you know, and we're gone and thanks for all the fish? Well, our magazines that we've been doing for years have always had airships in the cover, because I knew this was coming. Lockheed already has one, Airlander has a ship, and then we just found out a couple of weeks ago, Sergey Brin, from the co-founder of Google, is building his own airship to live on. He's got, yeah, I got $150 million already budgeted for it, and he has a big hangar that they had to make on, which was a Navy blimp back in the day. They're already designing building it now, not later. So I'm going, look, I don't think you guys understand when they need gold rush, I got to have a shaker, big giant mine if I want to go on the top of the mountain, do and tour the world or the whatever. They're building these now. So what we're doing is we have a team out at Arizona State University that's working on the Hyperloop for the pods for Elon Musk's Hyperloop that I've been covering, and they come in my studio and so on. Well, they see the ship and they're going, we need a portfolio as aerospace engineers that, you know, they go to school, you know, for, you know, 4, 5, 6 years, and they're like, I don't have a job because I don't know how to do anything. Well, this they see as a part of their portfolio in mechanical and structural engineers putting this up in aerospace engineering. Now, to describe, you know, I could go into details of the ship, but the ship is not the point. It is a mental exercise for us to take all this technology and free ourselves. And the biggest problem has been they always got you in a place. But if you can make money, you can live on it, you ship, you know, from here to there. Seasteading's going to need a shipping company, okay? So this is going to happen. It's just, I don't want it to happen in such a way that the first thing they do, they're looking for a world permit flying permission slip if I get to, you know, flag my ship of whatever. Now, what this does do, in the back, you'll see just a little glimmer of rocket motors. Now, after SpaceX uses their first stage for 10 times, it goes on the secondary market. I got my own freaking rocket motor. Now, the airships, they already have designs for this. It goes up high in the atmosphere, just floats up to the stratosphere, turbines the speed, I go to Mars. You know, this is, it's already happening in the minds of a lot of people. And I don't think people understand how close we are with the technical ability. It's just amping up the mass production of these different materials. And I have seen stuff happening really fast. I've been paying attention. That's what we cover on Freedom's Phoenix. You've been to my place. You know, I grow carbon nanotubes. You know, so this is, I already know what's going to, the inspiration of people just thinking about this. So all of the, even if you don't put it into a ship, the ability to grow your own food, the ability to communicate, you know, distributedly, the ability to have these new materials that's going to give you, you know, energy. You're able to, you know, live autonomously and out at the ocean or in the air. The man's not going to like that. So the artwork that goes against all flags. Now, the captain of the ship is Captain Mark, M-A-R-Q-E, Mark in Reprisal. Reprisal is his Trinity to Neo chick. You know, and this is, now reason we did this, we took a lot of time and we spent on the first letter of Captain Mark. Now, the first letter of Captain Mark, you go to pirateswithoutborders.com and you can read it, and Ben Stone, the Bad Quaker, read it. So he has, you know, done the voice of this, and it's beautiful. And what we have made very clear is that, look, we don't want a revolution. We're not wanting to take over your thing. We don't care. We're just not going to live by your rules, you know, and you don't have to live by ours, but we're going to go ahead and create our own community using technology to free ourselves. So the ideas and the different designs that we have and the T-shirts, it just, you know, belay the state, belay that order. I just belay the state, you know. So it's not trying to take over anything, it's just ignoring.
And it's very interesting, the concepts you brought up, because we are living in a world that's advancing so far with technology that there's eventually going to lead to some kind of conflict, some kind of agenda, and it's leading the very few to have a lot of control, especially with automation. That's why a lot of the elites, like last year at Bilderberg, we're talking about a universal income, giving people money because there's going to be no jobs because the technology and machines are going to take everything over. And to see this kind of put together in one, it's still very hard to understand. It's still kind of like, it's literally an out of this world concept of people having their own ships and being outside of any kind of government control. But how can that be prevented? How can that be done in a way where we use all these technologies, but also make sure that it's not centralized in one corporation or one government entity?
You know, it's always down to the, I'm for the smallest minority, the individual. And if you give this knowledge and you share it in a community of what can be done, because I already do this stuff. We build our own domes. Davi Barker and I, go ahead and come on over, Davi. Davi and I built, chunked out this dome in 2 hours. So we have aquaponics in my home. I got chickens. I already do this. But the thing is that I am afraid that all the technology that is available that makes our lives easier, that makes us, we're powered, we're fed, we're healthy, that it's being lost in exchange for convenience or for a universal basic income. I'm going, no, we don't have to do that. It doesn't even have to be America, because I don't see this fight as a geographical one. It's a generational one. And you're a good example of it, of how you bring the world together. You go around and see the problems are the same, and it's the same guys doing the same thing against individuals, and I'm just wanting to inspire people. That's what we do over the years, is just thinking to be free. As soon as you just have the opinion that you should be left alone, you pretty much win. You just got to have that opinion, and that's what they try and beat out of us. Yeah, Davi Barker, what you got to say, man?
What's the question?
If I could just ask, I mean, everyone, the way society's going, a lot of people are troubled with seeing the future with the technological advancements. But also, I just wanted to ask you, what technological advancements do you guys see that you guys think is the best to making something like this possible?
Well, to me, I tell you, it's materials. Since 1991, when Popular Science had an article about buckyballs, I said three of my kids are in aerospace. I was like, oh, it's going to be about materials. I freaking guarantee it. Watch what happens. So I've been waiting for this stuff. It's already coming to fruition. I went to Arizona State University as aerospace engineer for a semester. I just ran out of money, and and it was more indoctrination. I lost interest, but I never lost interest in aviation. So I used to build remote control airplanes. Hell, I could build the drone. I mean, but there's so many features of this that provide freedom up here. Well, Davi and I, we went through all of these pirate movies and everything, and we started to realize what made you a pirate was not that you're a bad guy. It's that you're against all flags. You weren't a pirate if you got a letter of marque from the crown to go kick ass on, a Spanish galleon and give him a cut, you're fine, But if you were just, hey, man, I'm just against all flags, then you're a pirate. And I'm going, yeah. We're going to pirate that. We're going to pirate that song. We're going to pirate that carpet. We're going to pirate, this technology. We're going to pirate, and loving it every step of the way. So it's just fun. We just need to get this mindset in so that they understand decentralization. I'm not just like things like cryptocurrencies and so on. It's everything. Quit looking for a permission slip.
Including spaceships, which you guys are contextualizing and putting into context. What planet are you going to go to, Davi, on your first spaceship?
Well, I want to, at least for a minute, say that 3D printing is one of the technologies I'm most excited about. Anywhere where manufacturing can go into the household level, and it can be about the individual designing and producing his own things without reference to large factories and corporations and things like that. As far as what planet are we going to, I don't know. I think we may have to build our own.
I don't know. I want to go to asteroid belt. I take that palladium rock right there. There's so much of this happening. The reason I wanted to do this is it's fun, it's inspirational, it's cool, but it's informative. And certainly when you're dealing, I'm more geared towards like what Davi does with Survivor Max. He's always making sure the preteens and the teenagers, and those coming of age. That's why you always got the Hitler Youth. You want to do that age bracket so they, yes, it's a DARE program. The man's bad and it's called Dad and turn him in. That kind of, so this is the kind of thing that would appeal to them, you know. So they go into high school and college and in and out with already these kind of ideas, and they go, yeah, just like we did with Star Trek. Well, of course we're going to have talking computers and self-driving spaceship car kind of whatever. I've been waiting since the Jetsons. I was born in '61, man. I've been waiting for the flying car for freaking ever. And that's one thing. Sergey Brin's partner, Larry Page, you know, he's all about the flying cars. Or Sergey's like, screw that. I want my flying house, which is what I've been saying. I'm going, I want my flying car. I want my flying house with my flying car. Well, Sergey's going, nah. That's what he's doing. So this is already happening.
You've been talking about this for years, which I always appreciate, and now other people in the private world are also doing this and creating their own space houses. And then with the way technology is going, it's just exponential growth, so it's exponential possibility of the future, and I'm very happy you guys are going out there and paying attention to all the tech news that I don't have time to pay attention for. But I just wanted to leave it with your last words. What else do you guys have to say to the audience about the crazy, insane future and how hopefully it will be free?
Well, I just want to say, you know, we're spending all this effort trying to get out of the gravity well. I'm not sure the best course of action is to jump back into a gravity well. I think the thing we're gonna discover is that there's some level of rotational gravity that you feel the best at, and you just need to find the station at that level of rotational gravity. And we'll send the drones out to harvest things off the planets, because we don't really need to deal with this intense level of gravitation anymore.
PiratesWithoutBorders.com. It is a community of us just being able to discuss what's possible, and by having this mental exercise that we can share with young people and then know the tech that's available, because of course they're going to build a ship out of it because they can. Well, it's in the future, but it starts now with just imagination. They've stripped the imagination out of generations since I was a kid. We were inspired by it, and then we go decades of the space shuttle. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? We got to bypass central planning, do it ourselves, and PiratesWithoutBorders.com. There's a forum that we're going to be pushing there, and it's not going to be talking about all the little ouch quit it stuff. It's the tech that we already have, this tech to free ourselves. We just got to think about it.
Ernie, you're the best. The link for Ernie's website will be in the description below. If you liked this video, found it interesting, share it with your friends and family members. And thank you again so much for watching Real Independent Media. I love Ernie. I find everything he says fascinating. I love learning from him. And let's make the future awesome. Thank you again so much for watching.